97% of traders in 2025 are still failing. Think about that. Almost everyone stepping into the markets gets wiped out because they're overwhelmed by charts loaded with too many signals. You're checking EMA, MACD, Supertrend, RSI, and a dozen more hoping to catch the perfect alignment, but instead, you're lost in conflicting data. What if one single system could check all those conditions for you in seconds and only show you clean, confirmed signals? That's exactly what you're about to see. A tool built to cut through the noise and give traders the clarity they've been missing. Why traders fail in 2025? In 2025, the failure rate among traders has climbed to a staggering 97%. That means almost everyone trying to earn consistent profits through the markets is still coming up short. The reason isn't that traders don't study or put in hours of practice. The real issue lies in how today's markets move and how traders attempt to keep up. Market conditions are no longer straightforward. Volatility has increased. Reactions to global news break within seconds, and price swings that used to take hours can now unfold in minutes. For the average trader, keeping up has become nearly impossible without help. One of the most common mistakes new traders make is loading their charts with too many indicators. It's not unusual to see someone with 5, 8, even 10 tools stacked on top of each other. Moving averages, oscillators, divergences, all flashing conflicting signals. One indicator says buy, another one suggests sell, and a third implies wait. Instead of clarity, the chart becomes a noisy mess. This overload doesn't add precision, it destroys it. Traders spend half their time trying to reconcile opposing signals, leaving them frozen at the exact moment they should be making clear decisions. This is where what's known as paralysis by analysis quietly sabotages most efforts. With so many inputs screaming for attention, the brain locks up. You see prices moving, but you hesitate, second-guessing your work. Do you trust the EMA crossover, or should you wait for the MACD confirmation? Each second spent debating eats away at timing, and when you finally pull the trigger, the move is often already gone. The mental toll of this cannot be overstated. Constant hesitation leads to frustration. Traders abandon strategies after a few losses, even if those systems might have worked in the long run. Confidence erodes because every setup starts to feel like a gamble rather than a calculated plan. The result is impulsive trading, jumping into random trades without proper confirmation, or worse, sitting out completely while the market continues in the exact direction you once predicted. Older single-indicator models that once worked are no longer reliable either. A strategy reliant only on something like RSI or a single moving average cannot keep pace with today's volatility. Price action is simply too fast and too tied to global news events that hit the charts immediately. What ends up happening is that traders cling to outdated tools and then wonder why their performance doesn't improve. The combination of emotional stress and technical overload creates a vicious cycle. Traders think the problem is their lack of discipline, so they add even more filters and rules, which then adds to the confusion. Manual checks compound the issue because every step a trader has to verify creates room for inconsistency. Miss one condition and the setup collapses. Rely on memory, and you introduce human error right back into the process. It's here that automation presents itself as an obvious evolution. Instead of juggling endless confirmations by hand, a system can instantly check dozens of conditions with precision. And this is the key realization. Traders aren't failing due to lack of knowledge. They're failing because the manual systems they rely on are no longer sustainable in today's markets. All-in-one strategy builder. The solution to this mess of indicators and second-guessing is something called the DIY Custom Strategy Builder. Instead of juggling half a dozen tools on your chart, this single system holds over 40 different strategies inside one streamlined platform. Think of it as carrying an entire toolbox, but without the weight, the clutter, or the confusion. Every market scenario that usually requires you to cross-reference multiple indicators is now handled instantly in the background. Here's how it works. Rather than checking the super trend on one side of your screen, glancing at the EMA crossover on another, and then hunting for confirmation from the MACD histogram, the strategy builder does all of this at once. You simply select the tools you want to use, and the indicator quietly keeps track of them in real time. The moment every chosen condition lines up together, the system produces a clear buy or sell signal right on your chart. No hesitation, no endless back and forth, just the confirmation you were waiting for. Imagine combining Supertrend, EMA, and MACD into a single filter. Normally, you'd stop to check each individually, whether the trend is bullish, if price is above or below a specific average, and what momentum structure the MACD has printed. That kind of step-by-step manual work is what keeps traders slow and inconsistent. But with this tool, all those steps collapse into one automatic decision. Only when every requirement points in the same direction does a new signal appear. If even one condition is off, no signal is printed at all. Charts that once looked like a rainbow of overlapping lines, oscillators and arrows are suddenly clear. Instead of staring at tangled inputs, you get a neat display that shows the market strength without the extra clutter. The strategy builder includes its own dashboard that makes this clarity obvious. Each indicator condition you've selected shows up as a green check when confirmed or a red cross when failed. You no longer have to guess whether the EMA agrees with the supertrend or if momentum is aligned. It's laid out in front of you in plain symbols that leave no room for doubt. This is where the tool separates random guesses from structured trading. A trader relying on scattered indicators is always one step away from seeing what they missed. A trader using the strategy builder knows in real time whether a setup has professional-grade confirmation. Instead of wondering if everything is in place, you can see it verified automatically. That means less energy wasted on cross-checking and more focus on execution. The difference is simple but powerful. Manual analysis forces you to filter signals under pressure. Automation removes that burden by turning complex evaluations into direct, actionable clarity. A system that ensures you only take trades with the strongest alignment is no longer limited to institutions. It's now something any trader can use. How to set up and trade with it. So how do you actually turn this system into trades you can execute? The process is far simpler than most people expect, and it starts with setting up your chart correctly. Open up TradingView, choose the market you're interested in, and load a fresh chart. Once you're inside, head to the Indicators tab, and search for the Custom Strategy Builder. Add it in, and right away you'll see the interface appear with the dashboard that keeps track of each condition you select. The beauty of this tool is that it doesn't lock you into one specific market. Whether you're trading forex pairs like EUR/USD, looking at Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, working through equities like Tesla or Apple, or even scanning futures contracts, the system adapts seamlessly. It doesn't matter if the instrument is highly liquid, more volatile, or slower moving. The rules and signals apply consistently because the indicator is checking all of your chosen conditions behind the scenes. Time frame selection is another area where flexibility matters. Traders who prefer quick scalps on the 1 or 5 minute chart can configure the settings for rapid confirmation without lag. Swing traders using hourly or daily candles can expand the criteria to match bigger moves. The point is that you're not forced into a single style. Instead, the strategy builder reads the time frame you're on and applies your chosen filters accordingly, so you can shift styles without having to redesign an entire system every time. Inside the settings menu, you'll notice options to categorize indicators as either leading or confirmation tools. Leading indicators are useful for getting in slightly earlier, while confirmation tools, like a MACD alignment, prevent entries until momentum is firmly in place. You have full control over which conditions fall into which group. This distinction helps structure your trading approach so you're not mixing early entries with late confirmations in a way that causes conflict. One of the most important features here is the expiration window. Delayed signals are one of the biggest problems in chart-based trading. By setting an expiration time, you tell the system to disregard a signal if it no longer has momentum within a defined limit. In practice, this filters out trades that would otherwise look valid but are already too late to act on. Smart candle coloring turns the whole chart into a quick read at a glance. When buying pressure builds and trend conditions are aligned, candles glow green. When selling strength dominates, they switch to red. During indecisive stretches, they show as neutral, telling you to wait instead of forcing trades. It's simple, but experiencing a chart that communicates strength visually in real time takes away much of the hesitation that makes traders freeze. Additional tools can be enabled for even more context. You might add supply and demand zones to highlight key areas of market interest, turn on EMA overlays for long-term direction, or mark trading sessions to track when volume realistically picks up. These extras complement the core signals without overcrowding the workspace. Taken together, it turns trading into a straightforward routine. Wait until every green check aligns, confirm it visually with the candles, and then enter knowing the setup meets all the criteria you established. Charts that once looked messy and confusing transform into something closer to a professional trading command center, where decisions are structured, signals are verified, and timing becomes clear. Conclusion. Most traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they try to handle too much on their own. Professionals focus on structured systems that remove emotion and confusion from the process. Trading is not about stacking more indicators or complicating charts. It's about creating clarity, then acting on it with precision. With the Strategy Builder, you can shift from scattered screens to a single command center that ensures every trade is filtered and confirmed before you commit. Try it for yourself, simplify your setup, and turn the markets of 2025 into a place where you trade with confidence.